Three. What happened? Oh, we're recording. Sorry.
Sorry,
Yeah.
I didn't want to interrupt you, but are you recording this? Because if not, I can record it.
Okay, go ahead I'm gonna leave you in charge, Allie, of the recording
I
stuff. Is
got it.
that okay?
Yeah, you're
You're,
you're all
you're
good.
admin here, if that
It's
works.
recording now. Yeah, you're good.
Yeah, I'm sure I will mess that up. So, okay, thank you, Allie. Okay, so that's a little about me. My family and I recently moved out into the middle of nowhere onto my family's Georgia Centennial Farm. We're on about 1,500 acres of farmland where we farm hay, timber, we have cows, and then my household brought the chickens and the rabbits. So we have a lot of fun out there like that, just doing life 90s style. And you got to have space for four kids to run around, I guess. So I tell you that though to get to know each other a little bit, but also to just acknowledge I really understand how busy life gets and how quickly our health and nutrition choices can take a back seat when the priorities of life are coming at us really fast. So I'm here to help us specify our goals and to assure you that this really can be a simple thing. It does not have to be complicated, and we can work together to set your goals and your plan up in such a way where it becomes second nature and doesn't feel like a pressure or one more thing in your life, but something that is really enjoyable and easy to manage in your day to day. As the invitation said for this webinar, we're going to be talking about 3 basic rules and 5 action steps for our journey, for getting started in our journey. And so I'm going to move through these a little bit bullet point. So if you're taking notes at home, hopefully I can make this easy to follow along and just kind of keep us rolling on track here. So we're going to roll right into it. So our 3 basic rules are going to be getting our mindsets ready for what we're going to do. Mental prep is a huge part of any journey you take, any sort of endeavor. We've got to get in the right brain space. So our 3 rules are going to be specify, simplify, and stewardship. These are 3 very essential steps that we're going to take in getting started. So we're going to talk about each one a little bit, and we're going to start with specify. And folks, we can only achieve a goal when we actually know what the goal is, right? Common sense, so I'm going to say it. So I like to use the acronym SMART. So SMART goals. This is going to be specific, measurable, accountable, realistic, and time determined. So I'm going to break those down just a little bit as we move forward. When we're setting a SMART goal, we're going to start with S, specific. Define your goal. What exactly is it you want to do? And you may have a long list of things that you want to tackle, but pick one thing and label it. So let's say the goal is you want to lose 10 pounds. We're just going to use that as our example. That's our defined goal. We're going to move into M, measurable. How can we track this success? Well, we can give ourselves little victories to meet along the way. Maybe you say, this is how I'm going to do it. I'm going to eat protein and produce at every meal. I'm going to drink enough water, get enough sleep, move my body daily. You're going to have specific means of getting there. Maybe you say, I'm going to lose a pound a week for so many weeks by doing these things. So this is our measure, how we measure our success. We're going to move that into A, accountable. So we want to hold ourselves to our goal, right? So we might do this by using tools like food journals. And one thing we can talk about in one-on-one coaching when that opens up soon or in future webinars is how to keep a food journal that gives you the most information, most useful information that you can really feed off of, so to speak, pun totally intended. You can, we have a great app, I believe that's coming out where, can you hear me? Somebody says, oh, that was Ashley. I'm sorry. I thought we had lost sound for a second. Excuse me. Moving along. You will be able to check in with your coach, that's me, and keep track of your goals and ask questions and just have a cheerleader along the way. Some of you like to wear Apple Watches or Fitbits to track steps. Maybe you just log down in a journal, in that food journal, I walked 30 minutes today. I mean, that's great too. Maybe you invite your spouse or your best friend to take walks with you or to check in with you here and there. Like get a buddy involved. That's even better, and that's a lot more fun when you have friends involved. Like it's a great way to keep accountable. Are realistic. You've got to be realistic with yourself. If you say I want to lose 10 pounds, don't tell yourself I'm going to lose 10 pounds by Saturday, like assuming Saturday is 2 days away, and you go from eating chocolate chip cookies all day every day and you're going to eat nothing but salads with no dressing on it and be just super boring, and you'll get there. Like that's not healthy, and it's sure not something you're going to want to do for the rest of your days. So be realistic about what you want to do, what will last, and how you set your goals and how you get to them. And finally, T, time determined. Give yourself a deadline. So while our health and our nutrition choices are priorities that we want to take with us all the rest of our days, there's no end to it. When we have specific goals, we want to put a deadline to it. So if you want to lose 10 pounds, if that's your goal, and you make these little steps, you have your measurable tracking. Maybe you say, I'm going to achieve this in 3 months' time. And that way you know what you're working toward, and you're prepared to get there so that you can start the next goal. So this is all under the scope of specify. We want to know exactly what our goal is and what our plan is to get there. Next up is simplify. Once we've determined the initial goal, we need to make it easy on ourselves, okay? We don't have to complicate this. Media especially loves to make things complicated for us by maybe they overinform or they misinform. There's just noise everywhere. So I would say start with what you know, okay? Like you guys are just super smart and incredible folks out there. If you're walking through the kitchen and you're anything like me, there's always a sweet tooth in your mouth. And you might say, I'm not hungry yet, but I want something to kind of get to the next thing. Well, the kids have some Skittles from, whatever holiday was last that I could go nibble, or there's some like really fresh grapes or Washington Farm strawberries are in the fridge. Like common sense is going to tell you which one is probably the better choice in that moment. So I am going to push a little bit of willpower in your lap here because you're all grown-ups and you're really smart and you get to tell yourself what to do. So that's one thing that we can do. But again, making it simple. If you're keeping these food journals and you're noticing patterns, like you're starving at 9 o'clock every night, you just really need a bedtime snack, set yourself up for success. Maybe make sure that you keep some low sugar yogurt in the fridge, or a square of dark chocolate, or like fruit and string cheese or something that gives you the protein you need to keep you full and satisfied, and the sweet that goes with it. And those are great options as well. And we can talk about the nerdy science of why at some point too, because I really love all that stuff, but I could really start talking fast and loud and excited if I get too deep into that. So anyway, like I said, just set yourself up for success, and that way when you start noticing those patterns. So enjoy it. And then remember too, if the food is whole, real food, it's going to benefit your body more than something that's processed. And we can go into more description as well if y'all have questions about what distinguishes processed and packaged versus whole. But I think y'all are probably pretty keen on that as well. But I also am happy to answer questions. And I will caveat here for a second and let you know, if you guys have questions that you would like to see answered throughout this webinar or even in the future, drop them in the chat box for me. And we're going to have some time at the end of this webinar to answer as many questions as we can get to. But there will be more webinars coming up monthly in the future. So there's going to be a lot more that we'll get to talk about together. So I hope y'all will stay tuned and keep checking in for those. So anyway, that side note. Moving on, just continuing to talk about simplifying. Another great way to do that is by meal planning and meal prepping. Y'all, this, as a busy mom with lots of kids everywhere, like this saves my life every week by taking a little time in the weekend and just dishing up food. And just basically, you don't have to make all of these super elaborate recipes every day or even twice a week. You get a meat, you get a complex carb, you get a veggie, and just cook extra of it. Instead of making one meal, make yourself enough to have leftovers, throw them in some containers. They don't have to be, glass from the moon and it's extra special. Just, you know, get yourself some covered containers that are suitable for where you are, for your budget, for your lifestyle, and how it works for you. Cook it all, pre-portion it at once. And I mean, you can make a week's worth of meals in 45 minutes. And that's something else we're going to talk about in more detail actually next time. And I'm really excited about that. So I'll leave a little more of that to that webinar. Moving on, finally, stewardship. I need to tell you something, guys, and I need y'all to come closer, okay? Because this is really important. You're an incredible masterpiece, okay? And I'm going to risk sounding a little cheesy saying that, but you truly, truly are. I mean that. You carry all kinds of responsibilities and priorities and privileges in your life that hold so much value. You're the best person in your life to be you. And I don't know your individual roles in life. You may be a friend, a sibling, a parent, a son, a daughter, a spouse, a coach, an employee, an employer, whatever it is. You might be all of those things in some capacity. But your place in the life of your loved ones is truly irreplaceable. Irreplaceable. And your desire to keep yourself healthy impacts all of, not just you and how you feel, but it impacts all of those around you and all of those who love you. I know for me personally, I'm starting to like talk fast and loud. I'm sorry. This is the hill I'll die on, guys. But I know in my life, like I said, I've got a big old family. I'm 38. I've got high energy kids, and I want to be the mom that's jumping in the pool with them. I want to be the one when they say, "Hey, mom, let's race." Absolutely. And I'm going to win, and you little squirts are going to earn that victory when the time comes. I want to be the grandma one day that's taking my kids on these beautiful hikes and adventures and not on the sidelines because of something that I had control over. Because I know there are factors in life that do offer some physical limitations, and I certainly want to be sensitive to that. But where we do hold some power over choice in life, I want to make sure that I'm making the kind of choices that allow me to love on the people I love so much and be available to the ones who love me too. And so that's my motivation. And I would encourage you to look for that why in your life, because when you recognize the weight of these choices, it gets outside of yourself enough for you to say, okay, like, that's worth it. This is a lot more than choosing what meal I'm going to eat today or what treat I have tonight. This is about me making sure I'm here for a long time for the people that I really love and seeing that through. And I know too, I was telling Allie earlier, my husband is a full-time roofing estimator, but he's also a carpenter and a musician. And as a wife, I want to be strong enough to where if he's built this beautiful table, I want to help him carry it across the yard to deliver it to somebody. And I don't know if you know this about people in the music world. I am not musical. I'm a goat. So I make a great groupie though. But when he's carrying all of his guitars and banjos and things, yeah, the foot pedals that they use, they're heavy. They're really heavy. And I want to be the one to carry it because groupie's my job and I'm going to keep it. So anyway, like I said, knowing your why is what's going to power you through the times where it feels hard. Because it will just kind of diminish the toughness of the choice and give you that purpose of like, oh yeah, those people in my life, they're worth it because you're worth it. So anyway, now that we've spent a chunk of time talking about getting our minds ready for action, let's take the action and figure out what we do with all of this excitement that I have driven in you, I hope, and see what we could do. I would love, there's so many angles that we could take on this, but as Joey and I were talking, we kind of decided, if we could pick like a top 5 things, to lead us into action, what would they be? And so, number 1, I'm going to spend some time on this first one, but I promise I'm going to move a little quicker through steps 2 and 5. So just buckle up, okay? Number 1, protein and produce at every meal is a great first action step to take. Protein is a really hot topic these days, is it not? But it's always been an essential macronutrient, no more or less today than it always has been. This is going to be the building block of your body tissues. It's the reason you stay full. It's the reason that you build muscle. It serves as the messenger between your cells and your organs to carry out processes in the body. its role in optimizing weight loss and body composition is that it's going to build, not just build, but preserve your muscle so that as you lose fat, you're not losing muscle mass as well, because we don't want that. It's going to keep your metabolism high. And what that really, in a nutshell, means is when you have muscle mass, lean muscle mass, you're going to burn more calories at rest. And we want maximum calorie burn when we're trying to get in a calorie deficit, if that is your goal. And then if you want to be in a calorie surplus, you need the protein to keep building, okay? Because it works both ways. And like I said, it's going to keep you full longer. So having said that about protein, produce. The eat your veggies message was a big thing when I was a kid. The 5 a day is the magic rule. More's okay, less is uncool. That was all the commercials I remember growing up. I don't know if any of y'all remember that. But yeah, that's the early 90s for you. But they are still equally important. So like I said, while today protein is the buzzword, we have to keep it paired with the vegetables and the fruits to provide the micronutrients and the fiber needed to actually help us absorb and fully utilize the macros efficiently. Protein without fiber could keep you foggy brain, keep you bloated, keep you constipated, among other potential issues. And let's be real, if that's my physical state, I'm going to be ultra cranky and not fun to be around. So, and I don't know where you're at on that, but I don't want to feel that way. So another question I get a lot is, what are the best sources of protein? It's always going to be meat, quality fish, like low mercury fish. Again, we can talk about the details of that in another time. But like salmon, sardines are great and super cheap. I don't know if any of y'all are sardines people, but that's a great, easy lunch to go. Quality dairy, eggs, those are great options. You do get protein from sources like beans, legumes, tofu if you're a vegetarian, and some grains do serve to offer protein as well, like quinoa, and even brown rice has some. I will say though, with your non-meat products, you're typically going to get, this isn't necessarily all across the board, but very often you're going to get a higher fiber content with things like beans, but you might get like a higher carb amount and potentially a higher calorie intake for a little bit lesser amount of protein. So if you are on a vegetarian plan or vegan plan, there are going to be some adjustments you have to make sure you're getting enough protein without stepping over your calorie goals that you've set for yourself with your coach or your provider. So those are just things to consider as well. I am a major proponent of food first, supplement second. However, there are some fantastic protein powders on the market, and I know FitBody has Ascent in the gyms, and they're delicious. And if you are a Bootcamp Plus member, you do get discounts on this. I would encourage you to look into that if you have not already. Something I think Allie is the one you would go to talk to about that. So be sure to ask her lots of questions. And I will say this too, if you're wondering about the protein powders and the investment of it, I think I've caught wind through the grapevine that there are going to be some taste testing days with protein powders coming up. Did I hear that right? Am I pitching an idea? Should we do that? Oh, I can't hear you, Allie. I'm sorry. Hold on. Can't hear you.
Okay. We do a Wellness Wednesday every single quarter. So we just did it 2 weeks ago.
Okay, awesome.
So the next one will be the next quarter.
Okay, so next quarter. All right. So keep on the lookout for that, because if you can taste something yummy, why not? And I would encourage you to keep the supplements down to 1 or 2 at the most times a day so that you're getting all your essential nutrients from food first and foremost. Okay. Making sure I'm covering my bases here. I'm sorry. I'm going to be honest. I'm keeping notes because I want to stay on track. How much protein do I really need? Okay, whether we're talking about protein, supplements, vitamins, name it. My answer is going to always start with, it depends, because you are so unique. Everybody's body is just so unique. Some might have different needs based on your own body composition. there's a lot of suggestions about how to determine what amount of protein you truly need, and it can get really confusing, especially the more you go down the Dr. Google rabbit hole. So general rule of thumb is that your protein intake is going to be determined largely by your activity level. Even if you are completely sedentary, the absolute minimum recommended daily intake for protein is going to be about 0.7 to 0.8 grams of protein per kilogram of body weight. Notice it's a kilogram, not pounds. That can trip all of us up sometimes, but that is going to come out to about 0.36 grams of protein per pound of body weight. Now, again, this is just the amount recommended to keep you from losing muscle mass. This does not necessarily mean, even at a sedentary level, that it's going to be optimal for your body and helping your body to carry out the processes it needs to and keeping you balanced with hormones and just whatever your physiological makeup requires of you. But that's the minimum to not lose muscle mass. So if your lifestyle hosts a more moderate amount of activity, say you take brisk walks for half an hour every day, you like to do yoga, you might do a half-hour aerobics class, maybe 3 times a week, maybe 4, you're going to need to get a little bit more than that. And that's going to be maybe 0.9 to 1.2 or so grams of protein per kilogram of body weight, to clarify. For those who are very active, we're doing high intensity interval training, heavy weightlifting, weight training, more days a week than you're not. So 4 or more times a week, getting into the bodybuilding stuff, you're going to need way more protein than that. And that can go a lot higher as well. Maybe even 1 to 1.7 grams per kilogram of body weight might be appropriate. So again, it's going to depend on all of that with your activity level, but there's also a variety of other factors that will come into play as well. Things like your age, your gender, ladies, like if you're pregnant, if you're nursing a baby, all of these things come into play in helping you determine what your protein needs actually are. So this is something that you would determine either with your healthcare provider or with a nurse practitioner maybe, or a registered dietitian, and we can work in conjunction with me as your nutrition coach and make sure that you're getting exactly what you need. Generally speaking, I can make these calculations for you, but if you do have some sort of medical diagnosis that helps determine this, I would want to be working in conjunction with them to make sure you get exactly what you need, and we can do that for you, and I'm really excited about that. All right. And again, if you're an individual that falls into the category of overweight or obese, your protein intake is going to be based on your ideal body weight, not necessarily where you are, because you could possibly get too much, and we don't want more is not always better. Okay, so moving on. Yes, so again, protein is something that we're going to need to be increasingly aware of as we age. As we get older, our bodies are less and less sensitive to an amino acid in protein called leucine. And what this does is it is actually the trigger for what is called muscle protein synthesis. And this is just the fancy way of saying muscle building, how your body does that. And so when we get, like I said, as we age, we get less sensitive to it. And maybe our bodies are a little slower to catch that trigger that we want to build muscle. And then there's other hormonal things happening that are calling for our attention. So making sure that you're keeping your protein up is going to encourage the amino acids to come into play. And now I call out leucine because of its specific role, but obviously there's more amino acids that are found in protein than that have specific roles in the body that we won't really get into now. But it is important that we get high quality protein products so that we get the most amino acids working for our body's benefit. There are 22 amino acids altogether, 9 of which are what are considered essential amino acids. That means they are not naturally occurring in the body and have to be, we got to eat them. We've got to get it from our food. So the best bang for your buck in getting the best amount of protein and amino acids to the full is going to be from meat products. And if you, again, are on a vegetarian or vegan plan, you will want to make sure that you pair different plant sources together to complete the amino acids, essential amino acid requirements for your body. And I'm going to put this out there too, that rice and beans, the good old poor man's meal, when rice and beans are paired together, you get all of your essential amino acids. So if you're broke, you can still be healthy. It's all good. I get it too. Actually, my kids really love rice and beans, so it works well for me. So again, I will say this, protein is proline. Moving on, when we're dieting, we want to burn maximal calories so we can put ourselves in that calorie deficit without losing muscle fat. And that's something we touched on a little earlier. But again, I just want to emphasize how important it is to hold on to protein even when you are trying to get yourself in a calorie deficit. Okay, like I said, I spent a lot of time on protein, so I'm going to go ahead and move on. So to honor our time here, again, please be sure if you have questions or comments, drop them in the chat box so that we can get to those at the end. So that's protein and produce at every meal. Number 2 for our action plan is hydration. Guys, drinking enough water is an essential for overall optimal health for the entire bodily functions. I mean, we're 70% water as it is. We got to keep it there. This is what's going to aid in digestion. It's going to keep you less bloated. It's going to keep you regular. It's going to be headache prevention. It's going to be mood boosting. It's going to give you more energy, more ability to focus. It's going to improve your mood. This is what's protecting your cells and your organs and your joints. It is appetite control, and therefore it helps with your weight management if that's one of your goals. And if your fatigue is reduced, you're probably going to perform better and therefore maximize your calorie burn and your muscle building efforts. So water is important, guys. As you begin tracking your water intake, there are different things to determine your exact amount, but I would recommend everybody to, at the very least, take your body weight, cut it in half, and drink at least that much in ounces. So half your body weight in ounces of water every single day, at least. And again, if you are working in a high heat environment, you're sweating a lot, we're going to need more than that. Again, ladies, if you're expecting, if you're nursing babies, if you're working out in the hot Georgia heat and you're just sweating all day, you need more. But at least half your body weight in ounces. And when it comes to electrolytes, I would say for every, because they taste delicious too, but I would say 1 bottle of water on its own, then a bottle of water with your electrolytes, then a bottle of water on its own, then the bottle with electrolytes. So break it up so that you're not getting too many of the electrolytes. But again, that's what we need to do. Let's see. Number 3, move daily. I can't stress this one enough. It is the best thing you can do for your stress levels. Another pun intended. But even a 20 to 30-minute walk every day is going to boost your mood. It's going to improve your focus, support healthy blood pressure. It's going to support healthy blood sugar levels. It's an easy movement on joints if you're struggling with joint pain. It's just easy on your body. Again, it's going to aid in digestion even. It's going to burn calories, therefore increasing your cardiovascular fitness. It's going to boost your immune system. I mean, it is the most underrated exercise out there. So at the very least, if you can get out and get a half-hour walk every day, I would encourage you to do so. And then come see us at Fit Body at the gym so Coach Allie can really get those muscles going. Number 4, sunshine. This may seem oversimplified maybe, but good on Mr. Sun just makes everybody happy. It's science. Time in the sun though, but especially morning sun, is going to trigger a natural vitamin D production in our body. And that's what's going to, one, help us to absorb calcium better. And so we have better bone health, but also it's going to regulate our circadian rhythm. That's that sleep-wake cycle. And that's going to help us feel alert and awake for the day and ready to sleep at night. So when we get better sleep, we're going to get better play, better work, and then better sleep again because we worked hard. And it just gets us in a much healthier rhythm in our days. And there are actually studies that show that moderate exposure to the sun can reduce the risk of certain cancers, where, of course, overexposure can aggravate it. But again, that's going to move a little out of my scope. But I think that's interesting research that I would love to hear some medical professionals speak more into in the days to come, because it's really interesting stuff. And last but certainly not least, sleep. Getting enough sleep at night. Countercultural today to not necessarily grind all the time, but to get rest when you need it. So like I said, after getting that wonderful sun and regulating your sleep-wake cycle, um, you're going to be just ready to enjoy your day. You're going to have more energy and focus, and you're going to sleep more peaceably at night. And I'm going to say this. This was spoken to me one time, and I've never forgotten it. Terrorists use sleep deprivation as a torture method. I'm not sure who knows this, but it was something that I learned. So if that's true, it is literally self-harm to not let your body get the sleep it needs. Why would we do that to ourselves? It is just not logical. What we're doing in the gym, guys, like I know when we talk about building muscle, we instantly go to like the barbells and the weights and the kettlebells. But y'all, what we do in the gym is going to physiologically is going to break down our muscles. When we sleep is when it's repairing and building. Okay, so like we've got to give our muscles that rest time so that what we did in the gym shows up when we look in the mirror and shows up inside our body. Again, there's a lot more science behind that, but the rest is an essential for your muscle building. When we are asleep, our body's restoring and repairing tissues like in our muscles. We're releasing specific hormones, we're restoring energy levels, we are improving our cognitive function. Like our brain's taking a lot of information every day, and at some point, we've got to let ourselves process it. And sleep is when we do that. Now, when we're exhausted, another thing that typically happens is we say, I'm tired. I need energy. Where do I get energy? Carbs. Let's go be a carby Barbie. I'm going to get in the pantry right now and see what I can find. And the next thing you know, the whole box of goldfish or whatever's on your pantry shelf is gone. And then you feel sluggish, and it's just this vicious cycle. So while I am a fan of carbs, I'm a fan of good carbs, and the good energy that comes after a good night's sleep. So I will clarify that. But a well-rested body is going to be more self-aware and better at decision making altogether. So whether this is in food choices or operating heavy machinery, we want to be well rested. So all that to say, I would encourage you to establish a non-negotiable bedtime for yourself. Going to bed and getting up at the same times every day play a huge role in hormonal balances. And I think we would all say that that's something that we would want to have is balance in our bodies. So those are my top 3 for the mindset and our top 5 for our action steps. So a couple of final thoughts and takeaways that I'd like to leave with you. Just a couple of things as we finish is just the reminder to, if you've got the ability to keep a fitness journal, which it doesn't have to be fancy, grab a notebook, keep a note in your phone even, write down what you're eating. I love detail in mine. If you can tell me what you're eating, what time it is, are you tired? Are you starting, what's happening around? The more information you give yourself, the more you're going to recognize patterns as you move forward. So tracking your intake and your energy expenditure. So how much are you exercising? Did you go for a walk today? Did you go do a fit body class today? Write it down and just notice your patterns and your rhythms and see if there's room where you can grow. And also, again, you can tell me about it, your nutrition coach later, because I would love to hear it so I can cheer you on. Next is just remember to keep it simple. As I mentioned earlier, just take one step at a time. You might have a long list of health-related goals that you would like to reach, better energy, more sleep, digestion, weight, all the things that it could be overwhelming very quickly. Pick your one thing, work on that. And then once that becomes comfortable to you, go to the next thing. We don't have to conquer everything in one day. Give yourself time because again, like I said earlier, our health journey is long-term. This is to the end. So we've got the space. Give yourself the space and grace to get where you want to go. And don't let it be something that is burdensome to you, but we're going to find ways to really enjoy it and have fun together. And finally, if you just want to know, well, where do I start? Like, how do I put all of these action steps together and take the first step? I would encourage you to start with breakfast. It's just a great place for an initial shift. If you aren't already in the habit of eating breakfast, you can start small, something super easy, something small. Scramble a couple of eggs is easy. You can add some fruit to that and a nut butter, or chicken apple sausage is pretty easy and convenient to find in the stores. Add that to it as well. Maybe grab a yogurt and fruit, maybe a half of a sprouted grain or sourdough bagel with some avocado and an egg. I mean, there's lots of very simple things that you can put together even ahead of time in your meal prepping so that you can grab and go pretty quickly without feeling like you started too much too soon. And then again, if you're just, really in a rush, smoothies are a great option. You can throw some of that delicious protein powder in, lots of veggies, and that's kind of a great way to get started. And if you're even in a bigger hurry than that, you need to wake up earlier. But I would say grab your cup of coffee and instead of creamer, throw a scoop of protein powder in and instead shake it up and we out. We can do that too. There's always somewhere that we can start that's really simple. So, and that will also help you avoid those 2 p.m. crashes as well when you start your day with that breakfast plan. So that's what I've got to say for today. And I really appreciate everyone being here. I'm so excited to work with you guys and be your nutrition coach across these campuses. And I'm going to turn it back over to Allie, and we're going to see if anybody's got any questions we can filter through. And again, thank you for your time.
Jackie, that was really amazing. So thank you so much for that. I
Thank
thought
you.
everything that you said was super, super helpful. If you guys love that as much as I love that, Jackie's going to be on the team with us across all 4 of our locations. She's going to be our nutritionist specifically with our Boot Camp Plus program. So Boot Camp Plus is a $9 additional a week program that's going to come with Jackie as a nutritionist. She's going to be working with you guys, giving you quarterly macros. She will eventually, at some point, we're building up to it. We'll be doing one-on-one coaching. So we're really excited about that. If that's something that you've been waiting on is nutrition coaching, one-on-one, that will be in the future. But along with that, you're going to get a monthly InBody scan. You're going to get discounts on any supplements or future challenges that we might have. You're going to get access to our private Facebook group. So we have a Bootcamp Plus page on Facebook where we'll be sharing some education, some engagement, all of our wins. If you had any like great weight loss or just like any successes with your food, sharing that. I know a lot of people that did the challenge, the Ultimate Transformation Challenge. The thing that you loved about it the most was the group accountability. So group accountability is something that really like drives you and helps you to reach your goals. Bootcamp Plus is going to be perfect for you guys. And then alongside that, Jackie's going to continue to be giving live Q&As like we're doing today. I think monthly is kind of like what we're aiming for.
Okay.
Yep. And then alongside that, you're going to get, you kind of mentioned it before, we're going to be having an app that you guys will get access to, where you can track your food through it, but you can also log daily habits on it as well. And Jackie and I will be able to kind of access what you log through the app and guide you guys to where you want to be. So, I mean, we have so much to offer with this program. I cannot recommend it enough. If you guys have any additional questions about it, please reach out to me or any of the coaches at your gym. If you guys want to sign up for it, reach out to your client coordinator at your location, or you can message me on Facebook or whatever works for you guys. But I would love to go ahead and open this up to anybody that has, I don't see any questions in the group chat, but if you guys have any questions from kind of the things that Jackie said, or any questions about Bootcamp Plus, now would be a perfect time to ask it. So we'll kind of, yes.
And I would say too, if there are topics that you would like to hear about in future webinars, let me know that too, because I've got a long list of things that I cannot wait to talk about with y'all. But if there's something specific you've got that you're super interested in, let me know. I want to know so that we can talk about it together.
Let's see. I'm actually going to see, let's see. I am not, okay, let's see. I'm not very, believe it or not, guys, for me being Gen Z, I am not tech savvy. Uh, it might be on your end, but I didn't know if maybe we could invite everyone to, here we go, unmute
Oh,
themselves.
there we go. Sorry if we had you muted. That might have been, I'm not techie either.
Video if you would like.
There
Okay.
we go. Ooh, that's a good one. We're going to be talking a lot about that soon too. What are your thoughts on collagen and peptide powders? Um, there's some differences between the two. So I assume you mean things like the bovine collagen. Is that what we mean? Like the things like that, like the skin, hair, nails kind of things. Can you specify your question just a little bit for me? Because I think we're going in a couple of different things that we could be potentially talking about. Um,
And Nancy, you should be able to, you guys should be able to unmute your um cameras at this point or your audio.
yeah, I'm going to go with what I'm assuming you're talking about with the just the that's kind of like a protein powder, but collagen. We're not necessarily talking about like the injectable things that are very
Can
popular
you
nowadays.
hear me?
I can
Yes.
hear.
Okay, yeah, it's the Vital Proteins,
Yes,
um,
okay. That's
collagen.
what I thought you meant, but I wanted to be sure that I didn't answer you incorrectly.
Yeah.
Personally, I love them. I put a scoop in my coffee or a scoop in my yogurt once a day or every couple of days. Great for hair, skin, nails, gut health. I mean, I love them, and it's they're usually about I think 18 to 20 grams of protein per scoop. And it's just an easy way to boost that protein intake. So I like them myself. And I like to get the unflavored because I can put it literally in anything. But I know my mom gets the chocolate and she puts it in her coffee. But she's also the type that likes like kind of this much coffee with this much creamer. So it sweetens it a lot for her.
Yeah, this has 18 grams per a protein.
Yes. Yeah, I use it. I like it a lot. I would say go for it if that's a great part of your plan.
Great. Thank you so much.
You're welcome. The price again for Boot Camp Plus, yes, is an additional $9 a week. That's a pretty good deal for all that you get out of it too, I will say.
Yes. Yeah, and if anybody um Jackie said if you guys have anything that you would be interested in hearing in the future as well, that would be something that would be really helpful to see in that group chat. Or you can just speak it out. Like I said, everyone should have their audios unmuted now, or you have the opportunity to unmute your audio if you guys want to ask any questions or say anything.
And while you're thinking of it, I might give you a sneak peek into some of my notes for webinars and newsletters that I'm interested in and that I'm actually working on already. But topics like, is healthy eating really cheaper? How do you eat clean on a budget? Things like clean swaps. I really, really love this particular product, but it's not the healthiest. Is there another way that I can indulge without feeling like I've given up my plan? Talking about things like that. Meal planning and meal prepping. Y'all, favorite thing. I can't wait to talk about that one because that's where it's going to be. Hormones and nutrition and how they play together. Best meals on the go, eating out, a guide for eating out and dealing with that. Here's a big one. Tips for picky eaters. Y'all, I've got some kids. I've got some that are just great eaters, will eat anything, and I've got one especially. I've got all of them went through the picky stage, but one in particular is just he just it's just no food. It was crackers for the longest time. And I have extensively interviewed speech therapists, food therapists, his gastroenterologist, and I think a dentist at one point. Who else? Just all the people that go with this. So we've talked and we've got recipes and we've got plans and tips and tricks. And again, I'm a homeschool mom, so I'm going to get a little creative here. And we've had a lot of fun and had a lot of success with him. So I'm really excited to share that journey with y'all. Macro counting versus intuitive eating and how to balance those two things. Let's see, savings tips for going to the grocery store because food is not cheap right now. So how to really eat healthy on a dime, talking about perimenopause, supporting your body. What else have I got? Reading food labels for people who deal with food intolerances and navigating that. Now that's going to have a specific window because that gets a little medical, and I've got a specific scope that I want to honor for y'all. But we've had some of that too in our lives, just kind of different products and options for you. Let's see, what else have I got here? I've got so many things, y'all. Gut health. Um, to name a few. I don't want to give it all away because that would spoil the fun. But yeah,
Well,
yeah.
any other questions in the chat right now? But like I said, guys, Jackie is going to be joining the team with our Bootcamp Plus program. So if you do have any questions at all, please don't be afraid to reach out. And if you even want to like stick around after this is over and say something as well, I think that'd be totally okay as well. But if not, Jackie, do you have anything else that you want to say? Oh, it looks like we might have something now.
Oh, thanks, Ashley. Glad to be here. Thanks for having me.
Okay, well, if that's all, guys, thank you guys so much for attending. I know it was a Sunday night, so I hope you guys have a great rest of your night. And hopefully we will see you back for the next seminar. Cool.
Thanks so much. Y'all have a great night.
All right, Jackie. And like I said, if anybody is sticking around and wants to say anything, y'all don't be afraid to.
Okay.
I'll go
Are we
ahead
still rolling?
and end the recording now, though, if that's okay.
Okay.